2 to 2 to 5 to start. If we could get Mr. here, it'd be great to kick it off and at least put stuff in order.
Well, I can get it going fast.
Yes, sir.
He's the key.
Let me call his office, see where he is.
I don't know, they're gonna call votes. Everybody's waiting.
Yeah.
Why don't we wait a few minutes and see?
Yeah, we should wait. We need to wait. The bell's right there. I'm sorry, sir.
Why don't we just, what do you think, 2:30?
Yeah, that's
Vote series 2 is estimated to, the floor was saying, 45 minutes.
You wanna just go to 3, and then we can do both committees, bing, bing? They just called votes, we don't have the ranking member here, so. What do you guys wanna do?
Can we come right after votes and start at 2:45?
All right, let's go
Or
with,
Mr. Shaw, unless the members, unless do you want to? Oh, there's
Joe,
Mr.
you
Keating.
wanna
Here we
try
go.
and get through this?
Let's try the markup and then come back to the hearing.
Okay.
All right, good.
Get through the markup and then go.
Okay. Subcommittee will come to order. Pursuant to notice, we will meet today to mark up an important piece of terrorist sanctions legislation. I now call up the bill H.R. 3693, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Terrorist Sanction Act of 2015. Without objection, the bill is considered read and open for amendment at any point, and all members may have 5 days to submit statements and materials for the record. To expedite our consideration, I ask unanimous consent that we consider the amendment in the nature of a substitute offered by Ranking Member Keating, which is the product of an agreement between the chair and the ranking members, and which all members have in front of them as the base text. Hearing no objection, so ordered. I now recognize myself to speak on the bill, and in light of the fact that they have called votes, I'm going to, if there is no objection, just submit that as part of the record and dismiss with my reading. And I now recognize the ranking member for his comments on today's measures.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll just try and be very quick in my reading of this, given the roll call that we have in front of us. I want to thank the chairman for putting forward this bill and for highlighting our continued efforts to work together to ensure our country is appropriately addressing nefarious actors. Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps continues to act as a destabilizing force from the Middle East and beyond. Over the years, branches of our government have determined that portions of the IRGC support terrorism, such as the Quds Force, and have since designated them as sponsors of terrorism. H.R. 3693, the IRGC Terrorist Sanctions Act of 2015, requires the Treasury Department to report on whether the Revolutionary Guard meets requirements for designation of a terrorist entity under the Executive Order 132/24, which targets global terrorist activity, and whether the IRGC's control of a company's board of directors should trigger such designation. Already the Corps has been sanctioned to various degrees. For example, in 2007, the IRGC was designated by executive order for having engaged in proliferation-related activities. Again, in June of 2011, Treasury designated the IRGC for its role in human rights abuses in Iran following the dispute of June 2009 presidential election. Most recently, in April of 2012, Treasury designated the IRGC for its activity in connection with human rights through the use of information and communication technology. While it remains unclear how additional designation would impact IRGC's activities, there's no mistaking the nefarious role the network has played in promoting instability. To this end, it's imperative that we continue to hold Iran accountable for its actions and be subject to secondary sanctions. Further, I believe it's important that we ensure Congress has the complete picture when discussing additional sanctions against another country. This includes allowing individuals in their intelligence community the opportunity to provide unfiltered analysis. My amendment incorporates this amendment in the nature of a substitute, ensuring that classified annex of materials may be provided to the appropriate committees. This will significantly aid our receipt of the full picture, as would be incorporated in the report authorizing this legislation. With that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back the balance of my time.
Thank you very much, Congressman Keating. Do any other members seek recognition to speak on the bill? Yes, sir. With the congressman from California.
Clearly, the
Congressman
IRGC is a terrorist organization. It ought to be designated as such. Congress has been, I think, too shy in failing to pass legislation to simply designate entities, but in this case, I'm sure the review will end up where it should, and in the future, we may simply designate entities rather than go through have the State Department go through a process that will lead to that same designation. I yield back.
Thank you. Congressman Perry? Seeing no other, I just want to make one final comment. I didn't want to talk much on this, but this is something very, very significant because the organization we're talking about had an incident a long time ago in 1983. It was the Marine barracks in Beirut that was blown up. That was my old battalion, 1st Battalion, 8th Marines, where we lost over 260 Marines, sailors, and soldiers. So obviously I support this bill, and hearing no further amendments. Yes, sir.
I did want to comment and thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, and in his absence, I wanted to thank Chairman Poe for his work and the work we put together dealing with it. We did it in a very cooperative and bipartisan manner, and although it's great to see you, Mr. Chairman, I know I speak for the rest of the committee. We can't wait to see him back here. I yield back.
Well, thank you for your comments. Our thoughts and prayers go with Chairman Poe, and I know I'm not chopped liver and I can never be, but hearing no further amendments, I move that the bill as amended be favorably reported to the full committee. Be favorable, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't say all
I have to have a teleprompter and what have you. Okay, the vote itself. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The motion is approved. The bill is reported favorably as amended. So now we're going to go with.
recess until 2:45.
We're going to adjourn and then come back for our hearing at 2:45. So everybody get on their starting blocks and make votes. We're out of here. Thank you. All right. Claire, you got my. Thanks, guys.
Great job.
That was a squeaker, Luke, thanks.